Of the Management of the Soul, from Gesta Romanorum, or Entertaining Moral Stories, v.1, edited by Rev. Charles Swan, published in 1824. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Of the Management of the Soul. The Emperor Vespasian lived a long time without children, but at last, by the counsel of certain wise men, he espoused a beautiful girl brought to him from a distant country. He afterwards traveled with her into foreign lands, and there became father of a son. In the course of time, he wished to revisit his own kingdom, but his wife obstinately refused to comply, and said, "If you leave me, I will kill myself." The Emperor therefore in his dilemma constructed 2 rings, and upon the jewels with which they were richly ornamented he sculptured images possessing very singular virtues. One bore an effigy of memory, and the other an effigy of oblivion. They were placed upon the apex of each ring, and that which represented oblivion he bestowed upon his wife. The other he retained himself, and as their love had been, such was the power of the rings. The wife presently forgot her husband, and the husband cared but little for the memory of his wife. Seeing therefore that his object was achieved, he departed joyfully to his own dominions, and never afterwards returned to the lady. So he ended his days in peace. Application. My beloved, by the Emperor understand the human soul, which ought to return to its own country, that is, to heaven, by which path alone it can arrive at security. Therefore the psalmist says, "Save me, O God," etc. The wife is our body, which holds the soul in sensual delights that encumber and bar its passage to that eternal life, where the empire and hope of the soul is. And why does it so impede it? Because the flesh rebels against the spirit, and the spirit wars against the flesh. Do ye therefore as the Emperor did, make ye 2 rings. The rings of memory and forgetfulness, which are prayer and fasting, for both are effective. In most countries a ring upon a woman's finger is a token of her marriage. And when a man resigns himself to prayer and fasting, it is evidence of his being the bride of Christ. Prayer is the ring of memory, for the apostle enjoins us to pray without ceasing. Man therefore makes use of periodical prayer, that God may remember his desires, while angels themselves present and aid the petition, as we read in the book of Tobit. Fasting may be called the ring of oblivion, because it withdraws from and forgets the enticements of the flesh, that there may be no obstruction in its progress to God. Let us then study to preserve these rings, and merit everlasting life. End of the Management of the Soul, from Gesta Romanorum, or Entertaining Moral Stories, v.1. Collected by Rev. Charles Swan in 1824.